What is up, gamers? It's Fun Guy here. I hope you're all having a great weekend wherever in the world you happen to be. For today's video, I thought it would be good to go over the starter weapons and, well, give some better alternatives where needed. You see, with Battlefield 1 being a free game on PS5 and with many veterans returning to the game on next gen, many will be looking for quick ways to level up their gameplay as well as their KD. So I thought I'd take the time to offer you my take on the starter weapons and which weapons you could easily replace them with to be more effective. Now, this will not be included any of the DLC weapons. That we will go over in a later video. So before we get into the meat and potatoes of it, I just want to say thanks for watching, and if you find this video useful, maybe smash thumbs up, let me know so I can make more. Also, consider clicking that subscribe button, as it's going to help the channel grow and help me reach more people. Now, let's get into it. So first up we have the medic class, and we have here the Seragotti Factory. It's a semi-auto rifle, but it also has the added capability to go full auto, although the 10 round capacity doesn't really make it worthwhile, so I would keep this in the semi-auto mode. This is actually pretty decent. The accuracy, the rate of fire and the damage are all decent. Now the main drawback of this weapon is as it uses stripper clips to reload, you'll have quite a long reload time. However, I do believe that the pre-mentioned accuracy, rate of fire and damage makes up for it. However, there are much better guns just around the corner, one of which I will demonstrate right now. So here we have the M1907 self-loader, and this is the sweeper version of it. That means it's got a full auto as standard. As you can see, it pretty much matches the Seragotti in accuracy, but that full auto with the higher capacity magazine and the quicker reload just makes it a better gun all round, really. Probably the only weakness of this gun is the aiming stability at medium to long range, but most of the time you won't have that issue with this, as long as you stick to those close to medium range engagements, such as this one here. Now, let's move on to the support class. So here we have the Lewis gun low weight. This gun has good power, the magazine size is good, recoil is quite controllable, however the rate of fire is quite slow. It is a decent all-round gun, but there are quite a few better machine guns out there that you could pick to really specialise your role as a support class. That's not to take too much away from the Lewis gun though, as it is a great all-rounder. There's just better machine guns out there for if you want to be a static defense gunner or if you want to run and gun a little bit. So we'll go over two of those options in just a moment. Okay, so the first option is the Madsen MG Trench Edition. Now, if you're not aware, when it says trench next to a weapon, it means hipfire. So, in your mind, just substitute the word trench for hipfire and you've pretty much got it spot on. This gun is an excellent close support machine gun. It's good for rushing, it's good for defending. It's just such a good all-rounder, much like the aforementioned Lewis gun low weight, except it just has that added hip-fire accuracy bonus. I would even go as far to say this weapon is perfect, except for the top-mounted magazine that does tend to get in the way of your view a little bit, but if you can get over that, then you're good to go. Now, let's have a look at a bit of a different gun, something for a bit more of a static defense. This is the MG15 NA Suppressive. Now, this gun is okay hip fire, but you'll want to be close for that. But what it really excels in is when you get down and get that bipod set up. As you'll see in a moment, the standing fire is a bit jumpy all over the place. There you go, see? Drew a picture of that guy, but then we get prone and we got that pinpoint accuracy there. And that's what you want from a static defense. So that's support covered. Next on the list we've got Assault class, and the starting weapon you will begin with is the MP18 Trench. Now, if you remember from earlier, when we say trench, what we mean is hip fire, and this weapon is absolutely godly at it. You can see there, most of the time I'd actually prefer to hip fire other than use the iron sight. But as I said, the hip fire on this weapon is so good that unless they're at an extended range, you're probably better off using controlled bursts with the hip fire. But this gun's actually my go-to, and many pros would pick this submachine gun over any of the others. However, there are a few guns that top it. Some of those are DLC weapons though, but one we can talk about is the Hellriegel 1915. This is pretty much the only standard game weapon that you could say compares to the MP18 Trench in terms of its just general capabilities. The hip fire again on this is really good. It's not quite as good as the MP18, however it has a much higher magazine capacity, which I think just about makes up for it enough so that it puts this gun slightly ahead of the MP18 Trench. But I still pick the MP18 Trench every time over this. So here we are at the Scout class, the last one, and we have here the SMLE Mark III Marksman Edition. And this gun is an absolute pooch. I just think it's a piece of dirt, really. I mean, look, the scope's horrible, it's got that weird palm rest thing. The aim just feels really awkward. I really don't like this gun, and I think you should try and get it away from you as soon as you possibly can. And instead, what should you go for, I say? Well, of course, it's the Gewehr M98 Sniper Edition. This gun has a really smooth bolt action on it. The power's good, the bullet velocity's great, the scope is very precise. You just can't get much better than this, really. You could pick many of the other snipers, but this one all round is the absolute king. I do, however, have one alternative I would offer up if you were going to be in a more close range environment, and that is the M1903 Experimental. That's a bolt action rifle that's been converted to fire pistol cartridges, and that's pretty good up close. In fact, I really enjoy that one, so make sure you try that one out if you need to use the Scout class but you need to get up close. And that's the video today, guys. I've given you 4 starting guns reviewed and 4 alternatives you could use to replace them with to increase your effectiveness on the battlefield and your KD as well. Now, don't forget to check out my live streams. Tuesday and Thursday at 5 PM GMT is my standard time I start. Otherwise, you can check out my next video coming out next Sunday, where I'll talk about how to be better at hip firing. Thanks for watching. Oh.